It's another talk on Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Because Thanksgiving is on Thursday
Mm-hmm.
and tomorrow is Wednesday. So this must be Tuesday.
Gotta be. Gotta
Gotta
be.
be. At least this week is Tuesday. But for some people, it's Friday.
Yeah, I know. Let's talk about it. Woohoo, let's go. Oh my gosh, it's so good to What are you doing?
I'm just making sure everything is okay. I'm seeing what you're saying.
Oh my gosh. That is, I have no idea what Michael is doing. I'm just gonna okay, he's gonna look like that, and I'm gonna do this real quick. Okay. Guys, welcome to Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesdays, where we highlight people of color in spaces of television, film, and sports. You can catch us every Tuesday on our Interludes YouTube channel, our Interludes Facebook group. Anybody can join. And also, Interludes is on LinkedIn under Pure Lighthouse Media. And then also, thanks to Mark Lee out of North Kakalaki, North Carolina. Interludes is on Pod TV
Take your shirt
Roku
off. Wave around your
channel.
head like a
Yes.
helicopter. North Carolina. Raise up the stuff for you. This one for who?
Never
Us.
miss an episode. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
DC
And
and
we want to let you
Maryland.
guys know we are
Raise up.
celebrating 100 episodes of pure
Helicopter.
excellence. Yay! And then an additional thing that we have coming up, it is Find Your Voice, a podcasting. Oh, go back. Why did you go away that quick?
Who am
Okay.
I? Petey Pie, mother.
Find Your Voice, a podcasting course for beginners. I don't know why it went away that quick, but go ahead if you want more information about that and other stuff.
It's a
Give us
secret.
a. That was not supposed to happen, so we're having
Don't
some
tell nobody
issues.
it's a secret.
It don't tell.
Secret.
Oh my
Secret.
gosh. So if you are, I asked you guys to give us a shout if you are watching us, and here is Wise. Hello, thank you. Thanks for joining us. And thank you so very much, Kevin. He is coming in from Brooklyn. Oh, to become a future guest or sponsor
Brooklyn's
on Interludes
finest.
by booking time with us at linktr.ee/Pure Light Media. You can also sign up for the beginning course. We got about 10 students. I'm going to cut it off when I reach 20. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, cut it off. Cut them
Cut it
off.
off. Call it all the way off. But I actually left the
The Bears
podcast to
did
come
win.
here.
Just cut them
Michael,
off.
I actually left a podcast to come here. Can you believe that?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Something that was active, but
Ew.
what are you thankful for? This is like we're just
What
before
am I
Thanksgiving.
thankful
What
for?
are you thankful for? That's a question for you.
Oh, here's one that will explain a bunch of different things. I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my coworkers.
Aw.
I work with some really good people, and they certainly have, especially over the last couple of months, have been there for me, a backbone to make sure that I was, okay and function well, and I appreciate it.
Mhm.
I think without them, I don't know where I would be right now, and I've been in places. Usually, teachers are pretty supportive of one another, but this is a really good environment, at least on that end. I'm in. Otherwise, but as far as peer to peer, it's been really good. Val, the voice. What are you thankful for?
You know what? I'm thankful for our our guests and our audience. Our that would be you guys. And definitely when people give us kudos, Michael and I were invited to over the weekend to see Preacher's Kids, the untold
Okay.
stories. That was a part of our podcast that we did, and definitely we really celebrated with um Alvin Malcolm Daniels. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but the just
I see
about the entire
signatures.
cast,
Yes,
everybody signed it. Let me get rid of
I
this
see that.
banner. Isn't
I
that
see
nice?
signatories.
Yes.
John
Let me,
Hancock's and such.
I know. And Tracy Kincaid, we definitely want to give a big shout out to her because we know about
Casey.
Alvin. And we've been introduced to some really great,
Unicorn number
talented
two.
people. That's
Yeah.
Tracy there, and the final scene of. I figured it's safe to take a picture at the end of the play. And that young man is a student of Alvin over at Chicago State, and he portrayed a younger version of Alvin during the play. That was a lot of fun. And then I didn't realize it, but Alvin called us out, interludes, as well as thanking both myself and you for having him on the show. He got emotional talking about how much support he has received. And that's Alvin there on the
He's
floor.
a
A very
hard-working, emotional young man. Who is extraordinary in so many different ways.
Mhm.
Humble. The Val showing you being on the set of Tracy R. Kincaid's music video. Where Val played the one of the biggest roles and most important people in our lives herself. And it was awesome, and that was a great experience too. So shout out to Alvin Malcolm Daniels, the playwright and maybe future showrunner for Preacher's Kid, The Untold Story, right, Val?
Yeah, according to Alvin, he was asking everyone to pray for him because, oh my goodness, he has a meeting with Peacock. Dun, dun,
Dun
dun.
dun dun.
Ooh. And a lot of these streaming services, including the ones that are popular with,
Technicolor.
exactly Technicolor and everything, they are
Peacock.
looking into expanding because currently Preacher's Kids, The Untold Stories is on Tubi. So that's really exciting that he was there. And thank you so much, Kevin. It is a big shout out to Alvin. Alvin.
Alvin.
But we
I'm sure he must love that, right? Always being shouted out in the voice of a chipmunk. Yeah, I'm sure
Mhm.
that's just
Alvin.
often, done.
But
So
but thank you so very much. And guys,
thank you. Please.
let us know in the chat what you are grateful for, cuz I think because it's the week of Thanksgiving, many of us have traveled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in my usual spot. And we have shortened weeks. We're not working all the way in through Friday. We're going to take a
It's Friday
pause.
already.
It's Friday
Yay.
already.
Oh, and it's past 5 o'clock here. So
Exactly. So I think so I don't know. I don't what part of the meal that
could
are
be
you looking
Culver's.
forward to
May
on
not be.
Thursday?
I'm looking forward to the nap. That's my favorite part. The part after the eating where you go into the food coma or you just go into the coma and it's like, do I have to go to work tomorrow, Friday? I do not. I can
No.
go to sleep right now. Wake up and then go back to sleep. This is awesome. I mean, is there anything better than this? No. Um, and then to my delight, and I will talk about that a little bit later. I wake up to watching football, and by football I mean with the double O, and then with the U and the funny, thing over it. So I mean, I'll be able to see some NFL football as well as some World Cup football. Yeah, Fridays. I'm looking forward to Friday. You know, how
Yeah.
awake I'll be, I don't know. I may not be that awake, but as I lay down and look up and the TV is on, it's like, oh, they scored, or he kicked it, or he didn't kick it. It'll be great. So, I
Oh,
mean, Val the Voice, what are you looking for coming into this Thanksgiving?
you know what? I think what I'm really excited about is spending time with family, and then definitely taking a literal break breather. Like Thursday, I'm taking a real break. Like no social media, no marketing, no nothing. I'm gonna, tune into my family that I've traveled to see, and I'm gonna
Good.
just
I appreciate
really bask in the glory of having family to be around. Because it was, I don't know about you all, but during COVID, when we were locked down and couldn't go nowhere, I was sad and I was partying virtually. I was doing virtual Zoom situations like this, Mike, and
it.
just
Hmm.
going, "Hey, man, we gonna have a party. We gonna have a date. We gonna do something. We gonna do some scramble." I learned how to
Mm.
do categories, Michael. Categories virtually. I didn't even know about categories before the pandemic.
I mean,
Ridiculous.
during the pandemic, one thing I did learn, which I think that I don't want to unlearn, is being no really I is being present,
Hmm.
because of the scarcity of human connection and having those rare opportunities. I really valued them, and so I would not, like, drift off and look at the phone or do things that distracted me from being in the moment with that person, or with those people. And I think that's something that I really want to go back to. I don't want to drift back into, half being around somebody, sort of looking at my phone, sort of doing something, and they're just there, and I'm listening, but I'm not really looking at them. I don't want to drift back into that. I mean, there was a really sharpening there, where if I am with you, I'm with you. And maybe I'm not the best that you could get, but I'm giving you all I got. And I think there's a value to that, and we miss out on these situations where we're just kind of half there. We're
Yeah.
partially present, and that's not good for us or the people that have taken the time to spend time with us. So you make sure you do that with shout out to all the extended fam out there in the middle of America that you're surrounded by, and will surround you with love. So yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of love, I have an extreme love for music. And what
Oh,
I was able to
transition,
oh my
smooth transition. Wow.
oh, it's
Wow, like
called
a smooth criminal. Uh-oh, that got canceled, didn't it?
Do you remember the
I remember the
American Music
time.
Awards?
I remember the time.
You
Hey,
remember the time when we
yeah, yeah.
loved the American Music Awards? Do you
On the
remember that?
phone till 3. What about us? Girl.
He's singing the Michael Jackson hit.
I know I'm seeing all the
Remember the
Michael Jackson
time.
'cause since it was cut out of the American Music Awards.
Oh
What?
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I Michael reminded me that right now, because it's around the holidays, Thanksgiving, going into Christmas, this is a part of the award season. So we have a couple of
Award season.
awards that are happening, and I
Black
guess
people award season too. It's also that too.
well, American Music Awards has been around since its inception with Dick Clark back in the
Yeah, as soon as Dick Clark
early.
figured out that the Grammys weren't actually hitting a key demographic from 18 to 35, and he could like tap in and steal it, he did. And he did so
Yeah,
very successfully. He took American Bandstand and said, what if American Bandstand, a show that some of y'all remember, had awards?
exactly,
And they did. And there, oh,
exactly.
there's your boyfriend. I
Oh
see
yeah.
him. I see your
Of
husband.
course, that's my guy, D Nice. He was kind of doing the announcements in and out and kind of doing some music in and out. So I was extremely
In and
excited to
out.
see
You're
him
making me
doing that.
hungry. Don't do that.
But I noticed with the American Music Awards, people that won awards, unfortunately, a lot of
She
the
said,
winners
"Shh."
weren't there. Michael, we had
Oh,
Michelle Williams.
oh, you want?
I'm
Oh,
sorry, we had
let's
Kelly.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's
We
go.
have
I'm
Kelly
ready.
Rowland accepting for favorite male R&B artist Chris Brown. He was not there.
Boo.
He wasn't there. I don't know what happened. However,
Boo.
and then we have
Wait,
Carrie
wait, wait, wait.
Underwood.
Go back to Kelly. Go back to
Oh,
Kelly.
go back to Kelly. You want to go
Yeah,
to
this
Kelly?
came up
Okay.
in the chat and also on Facebook.
Oh, what
Interludes.
happened?
Y'all are members of Interludes for Facebook, right? You are, because if
Hmm.
you are, you know that this question came up, and Val was asked about this, and I said, "Oh, stay tuned. We're gonna talk about this on Talk on Tuesday." So Chris
Hmm.
Brown,
Hmm.
favorite male R&B artist at the remember that, Val?
I remember
American
that. I used to love that
Music
theme.
little theme that they had. So he was slated to be there. Not only to be there, he was going to perform a tribute to Michael Jackson, which would have been like for the 40th
Oh
anniversary of Thriller.
yeah,
They
yeah.
had rehearsed it. He posted the video, on his social media. Sierra, Russell's wife. Remember former quarterback Russell Wilson? Oh no, he still plays in the league, but not
Oh
very
my
well.
gosh, he's on a
Anyway,
different team.
uh,
Michael, you've taught me that. Come
yeah, but
on.
not very well. He still plays, but not very well, but paid very well. So Sierra was working with Chris Brown. They were going to do a whole tribute to Michael Jackson. It got cut. And there was controversy over that because they cut it out of the show. Yes, D Nice taking out the suckers, and you don't know how he did it. Val knows because Val's very close to D Nice, but we won't get into that tonight. So anyway, Val knows how he took out the suckers. So speaking of suckers, Chris Brown was supposed to be at the American Music Awards. He had
I didn't know
rehearsed this
that.
whole thing, a tribute to Michael
Wow.
Jackson. Sierra was one of the people that was going to pop in and be part of this performance, and it got cut. Not only
Now,
did it get
why? Why,
cut,
Michael?
not only
Why?
did it get cut, Chris Brown also was not present at the actual show. So then Kelly Rowland comes up, announces his name, and when his name is announced at the American Music Awards, what does the audience do?
They start to boo.
They start to boo to the point that and Kelly Rowland, of course, she knows all about booze, right? Being the second lead singer of Destiny's Child,
Here
so
we
she
go.
handles it,
Shade of it all.
pretty well. I mean, and she also knows about booze because she was fighting them ghosts with her pretend husband on that Netflix special, which we didn't get
Oh
to
my
talk about at
gosh.
some point, which wasn't bad. It was a pretty good movie on Netflix with one of the Wayans, right? So there she is, Kelly Rowland's like, she's trying to figure it out. Like, okay, number one, why are they booing Chris Brown? Number two, I'm supposed to be getting this award, and then Chris Brown's supposed to be performing. So what is any of this? And she does a really good job in that moment and just like shuts it down. I'm taking this award. I'm gonna give it to Chris. I don't know what y'all doing, but obviously Chris deserves this award because he got it, and moves on to credit Kelly Rowland's credit. And I got to give her credit. None of that awkwardness is about her. So supposedly, as the story has come out,
Mm-mm.
um, the producers, Dick Clark Productions, and their representatives said they just cut it because of time. Like not everything gets to make it to the air.
Oh
They
no.
budget time differently, and they just didn't have number one time. And then two, as it continued to go, they talked about quote unquote creative differences with Chris. And what Chris and his team wanted to do and what they wanted to show on the air.
You know what? I think the focus of what happened with the American Music Awards was probably they wanted to focus in on someone who is considered an icon and definitely is someone that who got honored in two two award ceremonies during the weekend, but we're just going to go right to this gentleman. Well, Smokey Robinson did the presentation to the Icon Award, and it was given to Mr. Lionel Richie. I felt like his tribute was a little, it was stretched over two breaks. So I was thinking, I feel like something else was supposed to be here, and I think it was. I,
Yeah,
I
Chris
felt like
doing
something
Michael
else should have
Jackson.
been there,
Chris,
and now
Chris
you're
doing
answering
Michael
that
Jackson.
question for me. I didn't know.
Question
I
answered.
didn't know.
Now, Val. Here's the thing. I mean, and no, just you know
No
what I've learned
disrespect
to
to
at
Lionel
least.
Richie.
I
No.
respect Lionel Richie. I don't
Oh my
like him.
gosh.
I still don't like him, but I respect Lionel Richie. Now, here's the issue,
Truly,
though.
truly, you don't
Val,
like Lionel?
no, truly, I truly do not at all. So anyway, but going back to it, going back to Chris Brown, because this is an important thing. I think now, number one, they said they cut it because of creative differences,
Okay.
and they cut it because of time. But here's the problem: there's a myriad of other reasons why you would not want to air Chris Brown giving a tribute to Michael Jackson. And do I really need to have to name them all? I mean,
Can you
some of
name
them should
one? Can you
immediately.
name one?
Absolutely. He's problematic. Who? Which one? The one that's alive or the one that's dead? No, both of them. They're both problematic. Okay.
Okay.
So you would cut it because of that. I would cut it because of that. Obviously, the audience showed you why you would cut it, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Brown. And what's the automatic response? Boo.
Ooh.
Now, why
Yes.
is this the automatic response now, Val the Voice? I bet you know why. Because half the world has just heard Rihanna's voice, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Where did they hear Rihanna's voice? Just
Ooh.
just within the last week, right? Or 2 weeks, right?
Oh,
Over the
yeah.
credits, they heard Rihanna's voice, right?
Hmm.
Forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to go Chris Brown, Rihanna, which those two names are tied together indelibly for the rest of time. I'm sorry, nobody is Team Breezy right now. He put out an album that no one liked.
Hmm.
Sorry, it's true. It did not sell, not like anything else that Chris Brown has done, and not being a complete Chris Brown hater. Chris Brown has been fire even when I didn't like him. He was still fire. But this last thing he came out with, he had to beg people to buy and beg them to post online and say that they liked. So he is not on the incline. He is on the decline. And Rihanna is not just only in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie. The whole world's about to see Rihanna in a couple of months. Where they gonna see her, Val the Voice?
And they're gonna see her at the Super Bowl.
You darn right. So, hey, the tilt is toward Miss Fenty, or whatever her Mrs. name is. I don't know what Young Thug. Does Young
And you
Thug
know
have
what?
a last name? Is she
And
Mrs. Thug? I don't know.
yeah, well, no, no,
Look,
I know.
here's the
I think
thing.
she's
Here's the
strong enough
thing.
to be her own woman. She doesn't need to be
Yeah.
Mrs.
So
Thug. No,
again,
okay.
Miss Fenty. Thank you. Miss
But I
Fenty
have
is Miss
something to say
Fenty.
after you say that.
So she is Miss Fenty, and right now Miss Fenty is on the incline, and Mr. Brown is on the decline. So there are
Well,
lots of reasons why you don't air that, and you thank
okay.
him, respectfully, and you give him his award.
Okay, before I forget this point, um Rihanna has hired Winston Duke from Wakanda Forever, M'Baku, and also has hired Cheryl Lee Ralph, the Emmy winner from Abbott Elementary, to walk in her Fenty show. So she's
Oh, please,
highlighting.
please in underwear. Can I get Cheryl Lee Ralph in lingerie?
Come
Oh my
on,
God, those
man.
hips. Oh, those hips. Oh my goodness.
Well,
Look,
anyway,
still, when
what
I'm
we're
looking at her at Abbott Elementary, I'm like, this is a good show.
oh my god.
This is a
Anyway,
real good show.
what we're looking at on the screen is the dedication that went over two breaks. It was to Lionel Richie, and I thought it was cool that it was Stevie Wonder. Who was the other gentleman that was playing the piano across from Stevie Wonder. Do you remember?
I do, but I would rather look at a picture of Sheryl Lee Ralph right now.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
that woman is
We're not
timeless.
gonna we're
She
not gonna
looks
let this
good,
go.
but
We're
she
not
looks
gonna.
good. Don't you have a picture of her? She was at the American Music Awards. She did.
Yes, she
She
was.
gave an
She sure
award.
was.
She
Hmm.
and she had on the top and the two-tone top and
Yeah,
woo,
okay. So anyway,
that's good
and
stuff.
Wayne Brady went ahead and he was the one that hosted the American Music Awards.
That's right. He was
What
on
I
his way
wanted
to
to
coming out Dave Chappelle
what I wanted to show
and
was
Wayne Brady.
yeah. What I wanted to, and I think this was the only thing I was able to Michael told me about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction that aired on HBO over the weekend. And as I tried to grab as many pictures as possible, I'm just gonna have the icon. But all I'm gonna say is I am in awe. I am in awe of all of the folks that were presented. I mean, and I think the first people that were to go, and I'll definitely talk about this, is Duran Duran. And
God, I love Duran Duran.
when I was young, I was crazy about them. And
Me
and to me,
too.
I didn't know I was listening to rock. When I was listening to Pat Benatar, I didn't know I was listening to rock.
I
When I
did.
was listening to
Good
Dolly
Lord.
Parton, I kind of got a country twang from her, but
Pat Benatar. Jesus
I just love
Christ.
the way she sound. And Eminem's movie 8 Mile, I love that movie, and it made me kind of go, you know what, I'm gonna give you a pass. I'm not gonna totally say only black people can rap. I'm gonna let you. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be closed minded like that. I'm serious. So yeah, I mean, and I think Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, to have Janet Jackson present to them, and she had on her iconic Control outfit with the hair.
With the hair.
That was just phenomenal. I mean, over 80 artists. I'm sorry, over 100 artists that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced for. And Michael, what did you think about the induction ceremony? It's still going because I only got to like maybe hour 2 or 3, and I was like, I gotta go to sleep. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was
Oh
like,
no,
oh my
I watched all 4 hours now. Let's get back to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Let's give them
yeah.
the actual props
Mm.
they deserve, especially having us talk right now. So Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, if you don't know the story of Interludes, how Interludes became an audio show as well
Oh,
as our
you
Talk
gotta
on
tell us.
Tuesdays with Val the Voice and Coach Tony. If you don't know how it started because of a conversation you and I had about interludes and music and the profound impact that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and their music had on you, and then just the audio, just the idea of like what's between the music, what's between the songs, what's the story there, can we tell stories about what happens in between the soundtrack of our lives? Yeah, but what would you call that? Well, you would call it interludes because it's like the life that we live in between the music, that's the soundtrack of our lives. So y'all, that's where the name came from that we have. That's where everything came from. It came from this conversation about Jimmy Jams and Terry Lewis and this kind of Minneapolis sound that they perfected, that they learned from their, ultimate teacher, the purple one, Prince, and how they developed that and gave people like Janet Jackson a way to express themselves and a voice to actually take control of their voice and their lives. In the same way you see that, you hear that with Val the Voice every week, every Tuesday, because this is her way of really kind of expressing herself in a way that she has been preparing all her life to do. So this is a really special thing. So watching Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis there, getting the kudos and the honor that those two men deserve, and just hearing them talk about how they work with Janet Jackson as an artist, not to tell her what to do, but to help her express her own self I mean, I felt it, you know,
Me
and I'm so
too.
happy that you and I, you know, are able to, you know, are able to be here like that, right? So that's just amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and
I think that's awesome.
thank you so much, Kevin. I mean, I just honestly the all of the music that they have produced. I mean, I could think back to my first love. I can think back to my first dance. I can think
Mm.
back to college. There's so much stuff I could do. And before we bring on Coach, I
Oh
just
my goodness. Can I say the names? Can I say the two names of the people that come to mind? When you say Jimmy
who
Jam and Terry Lewis, they're two names that come to mind right after Janet Jackson.
who's that?
I'm gonna steal Coach's thunder, and Coach is gonna give me he gonna give me the amen on this one.
Oh, he is
Yes,
okay.
he is. Alexander O'Neal
Oh, there it
and
is.
Sherelle. The
Mm-hmm.
duet. The and goodness, you know what? I mean, more than anything, more than making sure that there ain't no raisins in your macaroni and cheese. Okay, that's how you get a platinum black card. Okay, it because didn't nobody beyond Black Radio play that duet. But my God, I thought they were Val. I thought they were married.
I thought
Okay,
they were married
that,
too.
that was a
Coach, what did
duet.
you Coach, what did you think? Did
Coach,
you
that
think
was a
that
duet, man. The
Hey,
Alexander
thank,
O'Neal and Sherelle. Oh my God, I thought they were a couple for real.
hallelujah. Thank God it's Saturday night. Thank God it's Saturday night. Saturday night. And man, hey, Sunday, hey, that was it, baby. You know, hey,
Sunday,
don't get
Monday,
me on the house
Tuesday?
music. 'Cause y'all got me pumped right now. Forget the sports, talking about this music, man. Val, you know, when did you fall in love with hip hop?
Oh my
Oh my
gosh,
God, don't
yes.
even, don't even, don't even.
I will say this. I will say this. One of the best slow jams that was recorded by Alexander O'Neal from the album Hearsay, because I remember I was in college at North Central where we all went or we all graduated from, and I had to fight somebody to get my Hearsay album back. Like, yo,
Oh,
give it back to me. Sunshine. That was my jam.
Oh my
I
God,
fell
please
in
don't, please
love
don't.
with Sunshine. If you guys
I
could put
can't
in the
go with
chat, if you
David.
have a favorite song that you know that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced, put it in the chat.
Look,
hey, hey, but
hey,
Val, you can't
Tuesday
let them
and
sleep,
Wednesday just won't do.
and you can't let
Thursday
them
and
sleep.
Friday, we can be friends.
Exactly. So we
But
can
our
be friends.
Saturday love
Saturday.
will never end.
I'm telling you, man. Hey,
Sugar.
Saturday morning. Hey, I'll tell you, man. Tell you, that was the cut.
Oh my gosh. You know
Uh,
what? Coach is here, so I gotta at least do this. Let's just get it going. Here we go. Hey, 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 hey,
Hey,
hey.
you, you, you you and Mike are like my brothers and sisters. So I tell you, in Springer, you can pull this up. You know, and by the way, Val, let me know if I'm good. I'm working with a brand new microphone, so tell me if I'm good to go. You know, if not, I'm gonna take. Hold on one second. Let me get it out of here. Am I good? Am I?
You're
All right,
good. We can hear
right.
you. I just a thumbs up from Michael. Thank you, Michael.
So I'm about to break some brand new news that nobody knows. And
Uh-oh.
and I love to break it on the show because I'm with my brother and my sister. So I have launched my brand new Prospects on the Rise, the NIL Athletes Network, helping college athletes of all Division One, Division Two kids sign NIL deals and opportunities. And this week has been very busy. Thank God, and I put God first. Everything I do, He's brought me on board with 25 athletes out the door, and working with two major brands in Lululemon and Anatomy Active Wear. I'm pretty pumped up. It's also brought me open a couple of doors to Adidas, Prada, and some other
What?
stuff that I'm dealing with. So, you know, Mr. Springer, please
yeah.
put it in the
Hey,
chat.
hey, Coach
If
is
you,
opening with Adidas, so you can step right in there. I hear that down in person.
hey, Hey, I'm telling you right now, if you got a nephew, a niece, friend, whoever that is, has got a young ball player of any sort, whether it be tennis, golf, basketball, track and field at the college level, and you tired of playing that bill, you need these kids to sign some NIL deals, you make sure you reach out to Mr. Springer and get my info and reach out to me.
There it is. I mean,
Yeah,
wow,
money.
that's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
I
Um,
appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. Really, a lot of backdoor. But Mike, like we do on the show, man, persistence pays off. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
mhm.
I reached out to a couple of people, and they kind of shut the door on me. And I continued reaching out to a few more, and they were like, "Hey, I think this sounds good because we haven't even tapped that market yet. Please explain to us." And here's
Absolutely.
how funny thing is: the two brands I got, they asked me, before the deal got cut and worked out, the what was my overall goal, and I told them I didn't care really about the money piece because that'll come if we do the right thing, right? What I
Mhm,
did care
mhm.
about
Yeah.
is helping these young athletes who are on scholarships and can't work. I've been there, done that back in the day, and got to get them a job and
Mhm.
opportunity that down the road the ball's going to stop bouncing, the soccer ball is going to stop rolling, the football is going to stop being thrown, tennis is going to stop getting hit. Can we put these young kids in positions to get career opportunities? And they were like, that was more powerful than just talking about the athletes themselves.
Yeah. I mean, because not every athlete is gonna pop up with a Pokemon card, right, Coach?
Pokemon.
Or NFT.
Right, right,
Oh,
right.
wow.
So Val's like Pokemon. So she don't know
Pokemon.
the story. There's a young,
Well,
there's
with
a
Pokemon, Val,
NFL player.
I was gonna say, Mike, before you explain that, Val,
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
do you know about the NFT?
I do know about NFT, but not in regards to a sports player or any specific sports player.
Well,
Break
explain
it
the
down, Coach.
Pokemon, Mike.
Break it down.
Break the
Oh, okay.
Pokemon down.
Yeah, yeah. I throw in the Pokemon story since it's a human interest and it just happened within this past week. So there was a player on the Raiders roster who retired this week,
Right.
mid-season, right in the season. Now, why would you do that? Well, it turned out he had been kind of pushing through, making sure he was still, active and still steady on their roster. But he was making a base salary of like about 1.1 million or something around that, which is,
Mhm.
for a full-time football player, that's decent. Okay. I mean, it's not great
It's on
given
the
that
low
type
end.
of work but this dude, he also has been doing his own kind of like merchandise line, and he pulled out, I guess he had it, a Pokemon, a pristine Pokemon card, original Pokemon card, and it was valued at and sold for $600,000. And once he got that valuation, he was like, Mark Davis, peace. Josh McDaniels, peace. I'm up. I'm done. All right. Because that was more than half of the salary that he would make in a year right there. So he used that to launch his own. Yeah, Blake Martinez. Yes. Joseph's buddy. I ain't mad at
Thanks,
him at
Kevin.
all. I mean, I hear people, talking about how they remember they first Jordan card,
Hey,
and
I got a
regretting,
stack of them, babe. I can't wait to trade mine.
letting those go
I
because
got
those
four
are about
books.
worth that now. In
Exactly.
vintage quality, those are about worth around that too. So this
Mhm.
dude is like, yeah, I don't have to get hit in the head no more. I'm gonna use my head and find some more of these cards, which he is. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, I say that to say that the world has changed. The
Very
world is
much so.
changing. There was a time, Val, the voice, when we would look at kids and the kids, on their phone a couple of years ago, like, get off your phone. What are you doing? Like, I'm watching YouTube.
Right.
You'll never
Right.
get nothing out of watching YouTube. What can you ever get from being on YouTube? I don't
And now
know.
they can get paid.
$15 contract, maybe. I don't
Now
know.
it's like, I can pay this mortgage, mama. That's what I can do.
Yeah, I can buy your
Wait,
house and the
there's a
block.
question on the floor. Coach Tony, we keep talking about the Raiders. Is that a sign about new coaching job?
Yeah, as soon as Coach Tony wants to go into football, there's an opening for you, buddy.
I actually had to
Vegas
sit
got an
my.
opening for sure.
Hey,
It
Mike,
ain't
not even to be
posted,
funny.
but it's
I went
open.
on it. I went on and looked it up. Not to be funny. I reached out to the Raiders last week. Like, look, man.
Oh, I'm surprised you reaching out to them because I don't think you got to. They'll be reaching out to everybody pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Especially after they watch the Colts and they're like, you mean we can just fire somebody mid-season and just pick somebody from TV and it's just as good? Yeah, sure, let's do that. Yeah,
Kevin said that I'll tell you, my dad had a Joe DiMaggio card.
Joe DiMaggio,
Joe
DiMaggio. Thank you so much. Gave it away because he didn't know sports. Saw it a couple of months ago, and someone sold it for a couple of mil.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I would tell you, I don't, Mike, don't go crazy on me because I love it. I got not one, not two, not three, but I got 4 catalogs of about 75 pages, front and back of the little plastic folders. I got every Bulls roster from 1986.
Man, I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you.
Larry Birds, I got the Magics, I got the Kareems, I got Tiny Archibald, and I just haven't went back, like you said, like my man with Pokemon. I need to pull out one of my 85, 86 Jordan cards and see what it looked like.
Think that NFC would go for a couple of mil.
Yeah, check the condition. Check the condition.
I
mean, I ain't mad at none of that. I just don't understand. I mean, what I'm mad at is the people that had these things and then gave them away because what you ever gonna get out of that? It's taking up too much space. Why you
like my mama
that?
Or like my mama, throw them cards away, boy. You chew that bubble gum up and spit it out.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God. Oh, Kevin's interested. He says, when you're ready to retire, there you go and sell them.
There you go. Hey, and that's why Kev, that's why I'm holding on to. I told my son already, I got to get this college paid for and whatever else you try to do real quick. So I got you.
Yeah, well, you know what? Really quickly,
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, go ahead.
Really quickly, I really need you guys to explain to me, because I was watching on Sunday and I was thinking, you know what? I'm now vested because I'm sitting here going, I'm watching
I get your hat now, Coach. I got your hat. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here trying to figure things out, and I'm like, I gotta see what's happening. So let me bring this up here. Here we go.
Yeah, go ahead. What we talking about?
Okay, here we go. So I need someone to explain what happened between the Bears and the Dirty Birds.
Okay,
Coach,
when you say explain,
that's all you.
When you say explain, what part you talking about?
What part do you not understand the losing?
Because
what part of losing don't you understand, Val?
Yeah, because you're gonna get my man Justin Field killed. You know what I'm saying? And until we can figure out, and Mike, you tell me right if I'm wrong, until we can figure out defensively what to do and offensively how to protect, the Bears are not going to move forward. You know, offensively, you got your quarterback leading the way, which is great. But the problem is he's taking too many hits. He's getting tagged too many times. You know, and you know everything about these quarterbacks in the league that only last for so long, and all of a sudden they start coming up limping and getting hurt. And then, you know, the Bears' problem is, in my opinion, is each and every year over the last 2 or 3 years, the people that they've had either as a pressure defender to go in and sack the opponent's quarterback or put pressure in the backfield, they traded, right? They traded them to teams that they go get rings, the Rams, you know.
Well,
Tampa Bay.
The thing is, you want to make sure that Justin Fields becomes Lamar Jackson and not Kyler Murray.
Correct.
And no disrespect, but Kyler Murray took way too many hits. That's
and
why he's still on the sideline.
Too small.
He don't have the size. He don't have the weight. Now, Justin Fields is trying to play like Josh Allen, which also is a mistake. And I guess the Bills are figuring that out this year. You can't take all those hits. You can't. Look, if you need 3 yards for the first down, get the 3 yards and do what Lamar has always done.
Get
get
out of
the
bounds or
heck
get down
out of bounds
or
and
get
don't
down.
get hit. But don't get those 2 extra yards, because those 2 extra yards, coach, mean nothing. It's still a first down. Once you have the first down, stop. Don't get hit. So I mean, I thank God injury is taking a what might have been a tough decision out of the Bears' hands. There's no way in heck that they're going to let Justin Fields play this week, or they better not. I don't want to drive there and stop them, but I feel like I would if I had to.
Well, you might well go get.
Hopefully injury is taking this out of even their consideration, and
Yeah,
they'll
I'm
put
hoping so.
in, and we'll lose a meaningless game, but we won't get Fields injured anymore.
Yeah,
Because I was looking at the schedule, and I swear to goodness, I thought their bye week was this week, but it's not. Coach, who made this horrific schedule for the Bears where they have a bye week in week 12, week 13? Right. What in the world is that?
That's what I said. You're gonna wait till the end of the damn season to give them a bye
week off? Who cares? Now?
Yeah.
Who cares to have a week off at the end?
You know what they should have said, and the crazy part about it is they already know the Bears always play on Thanksgiving, right? So they don't get that day. So therefore, you can chalk that up.
Day game, right?
Exactly right. And then you got, so why not push that 2 or 3 weeks prior to that Thanksgiving day? Give my guys some rest. Then you come out firing all cylinders. But again, the Bears, Fields has been able to. He's doing every damn thing except throwing the ball like Popeye used to do and go catch it. Pass and receive it.
And that's it. I mean, that's the problem. So you gotta. So look. If he wasn't injured, and I'm not questioning his injury, I just hope that somebody in there is smart enough to know, even if Fields wasn't injured, he was gonna be injured this week not to play. Okay, I don't care what you got to say to who, or tell him or his agent or the fans, he can't play this week. Okay,
right.
He cannot play. Who we playing? The Jets?
Yeah, New York Jets. Yeah, we're playing New York, Kevin.
Well, I mean, I don't care if you could beat the Jets, because all you got to score is 10 points to beat the Jets, apparently. So it doesn't matter.
And that's why
that defense will destroy him.
Right. And they try to compare him a little bit to Jalen Hunt. And Hunt's on a whole nother ball game over with Philly. He's on a whole nother ball game. That boy put up 101 yards last weekend.
No. He's not Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts is a different kind of player. Jalen Hurts also had his injuries in college, so he already has an idea of when to stop and when not to get hurt. Now he's not doing some of it because it's in the name of winning. So Jalen Hurts is also running a little bit too far with the ball too, and he's getting tagged.
But he got weapons around him, right?
So so he doesn't have to run as much,
right?
Which is good for him.
And speaking of running that much, my running Illini, flying the young boys, I love them, Mike. Hey, and by the way, Val,
transition.
Shannon Jr., my old
basketball transition.
Hey, Morgan Park, Shannon Jr. playing the wing for the Illini. They are playing great. They're going to bring a lot of good things back to the state this year. I like how they're playing ball, and they're going to make that. Big Ten's going to be exciting this year.
It is. If we're going to go into college basketball for a second, can we give some love to Virginia?
Let me tell you something. So I'm going to explain 2 things to you, Mike. Well, I'm going to throw a boomerang at you, and I'm going to explain a little bit.
Shout out to all my people in Virginia. Love
y'all. Because I had to bump head. So do you know the reason why South Carolina beat up on UT last week and Virginia got by our Illini Sunday?
No, tell us.
Well, like it happened to come out on Monday, but I was arguing with a couple guys Saturday night, like, oh man, UT, they suck, they this and that, and I can't believe the Illini did this and that. I said, no, man, this weekend they sold in Vegas. If you'd had $1,000 of promotional purposes only,
here we go,
and you would have put 500 on Virginia teams and 500 on South Carolina teams, you've been a wealthy man. Here's the reason why. unfortunately, God called those 3 young men home too early for work, who was gunned down and shot.
That's very sad.
2 of those young brothers were born
Cavaliers.
and came up in that Sumter and in that lower South Carolina area, and were both offered scholarships to South Carolina University. Other brother was born in the Virginia area. So I know as a coach, and I've been in that locker room, I have given that speech before on just, when I bring my kids from the South going back home to Chicago, I don't care about what we play. I don't care about what we practice. We're going to play a whole different dynamic game. And when I'm in that locker room and I'm saying, hey, Mike, I'm going to need you to run a little harder. Hey, Val, I'm going to need you to tackle a little harder. Hey, Coach Tony, I'm going to need you to be accurate on that pass and put it in the pocket. When you're talking to those kids and they're playing for something special, it could have been a professional coach coaching those college kids this week, and it wouldn't have mattered. Because those kids are playing on a whole nother level and they're playing for something. Because if South Carolina would have lost that game against UT, it didn't matter because they were already picked to lose by 25. But to come in and play like that and shock the world, boom. It is. And when you got to play against an opponent that's got something to lose or something to fight for, that's a difficult opponent to play against.
Yeah, and in the chat, Kevin said that one of the fallen was his friend's cousin.
Oh,
so
man.
This really, yeah. So this really, I was reading that story about these young men, and all in their 20s. I'm thinking about their parents. I'm thinking about their other loved ones, and this is just before the holidays, where
Right.
it's just tough. And Tony, thanks for sharing what you would share with your players.
Sure. And one of the kids and the wide receiver, the young man, they said he was like a potential draft pick. So
the loss is it's on so many different levels what happened and how it affects them. And and not to overstate any of this, but as again, my thoughts, prayers, and love to all my people in Virginia. Virginia has had it kind of rough with these situations. Certainly the University of Virginia knew how to lock down and notify their students, simply because within all 3 of our lifetimes, another Virginia University, Virginia Tech, had to go through something similar. And I know that wasn't really spoken about a lot nationally, but certainly if you had any time connection to Virginia, you did think about the fact that, oh my God, another Virginia University is going through a really, tough situation here. So in sports is supposed to be the way that we're able to connect.
So that's why I want to send my prayers.
Go ahead.
My prayers go out to the Golden State Warriors. My prayers go out to them.
Oh, why to the Golden State Warriors? Why we got them? Here. Yeah. Oh, Michael's ready for you.
I know Michael loving this, Val, because I told him with Draymond Green and all these issues they got going on, them boys are struggling right now, Mike. I told you, and that just continued.
Okay, but are they LA Lakers struggling, or
now we know that they LA Lakers? They got 1 foot 6 foot under. They got about 3 feet up in there already. They doing like this every day. We already know.
Oh my God.
Right. Currently, the Warriors are 6-8, and they're 4th in the Pacific. I'm not really worried about it. It's early in the season.
Oh, it is.
I don't want to see this happen, but I think
I give you credit because your boy, Klay Thompson and God, slipped my mind. I see him right there. They set that record. They had 41 points from 3 the other night. They dropped 26 threes the other night. That was ridiculous.
The problem with Golden State, and there are problems with Golden State. There are problems. It's legit. They're correctable. They can correct it. They got time.
Oh, yeah.
They got time.
Now I got to ask Val. I know you jumping in a little bit because of football and this and that. So are you a NCAA basketball guru, or do you like the NBA?
I am with the NBA. I want to see what the kids do once they get across the burning stands of the NBA.
Okay.
Cross.
Okay.
Hey, yeah. So just so I saw we put something in the chat. They were Virginia players. Those were 3 Virginia players, Val.
Yep, all three were Virginia players, but I'm just talking about
Virginia Tech tragedy was a different tragedy.
yeah, totally different. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just talking about where the kids were born and raised up at in South Carolina. Yeah, they were all
no, absolutely no. I saw Tech with Virginia. Those are 2 different schools.
And I'm in reverse, Val. You know, I'm a big NBA person. I love the NBA, but with me, 20 years on the sideline in college, I just like the nuances of college basketball, college football. Baseball has now come on the last few years, but these kids are non-athletes. They don't have the big egos. Some of them do. They know they're going to the next level, and they're still coachable. You know, and they're still at the situation where they're trying to get that money, but you know, because of the way, whether it be NCAA football or basketball or baseball or whatever, they're still out there, and it's still competitive. And you know, in that ranking, unlike football, where you kind of know Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan are going to be there every year, year in and year out, and you may sneak a Big 12 in there like TCU this year. When it comes to basketball, you know, in 36 games, is anybody's ball game. And I just got to be better than Michael tonight. I just got to drop a couple threes and play a little bit better D tonight.
Well, here. Let me throw in the other sport because I think it deserves its moment. You know, it's not without controversy, but I'm gonna throw it in there because throughout the day, we were wrapping up the school week because of Thanksgiving. So we had some time in between classes, during classes. Yes, and I can tell you, Coach, all of my kids, when I turned on the TV, they all knew the codes, how to break through, how to find it, you know, with their subscriptions or their, subscriptions. And they could all get to the World Cup game. Any World Cup game that was on, they knew how to get to that game. So we watched a bunch of World Cup games today and had a wonderful time. So the younger generation, basketball certainly is a world sport, but soccer, football is the other world sport. Yeah. And the idea that Messi's team lost to Saudi Arabia
and USA won
is amazing to these kids to see. Yeah. France come in today and whip up on Australia the way they did.
Right. Now they got a chance to recover.
When I say France, I'm talking about French national team. French team is African, pretty much.
Yes. A lot of people don't know that.
Last decade. That's when they with some Europeans.
Okay. Yep.
So soccer is just the sport, and the game this week is Friday. Black Friday is the U.S. versus England. And if the U.S. wins that game, they might advance. They might sneak through and advance. They tied against Wales earlier this week to a draw. They were ahead, and then Wales got them toward the end and pushed it to a draw. But if they win against England, that would be major.
That would be absolutely amazing. And they're doing stuff. But Mike, go back to, you and I and Val, we can go back, to the summertime before we had one of the coaches on the show. And I was talking to them, soccer is the number one sport worldwide. And basketball is closed in as a close second. And it's picking up a lot of steam only because the concussions in football, American style football, but like you said, Mike, football is soccer worldwide. Only the United States they consider that. But here's
finally the U.S. is getting some men. They're finally finding some younger male players.
We got 3 people from Nashville on the team. We got three people from our Nashville soccer team, soccer team. It's on Team USA right now. And I want to say something else. You said something that's very key a moment ago. Have you noticed, like you just said, when the world So, when the cup is on, the kids that you got gravitated, put their
Yep.
codes in, found
Absolutely.
out
Mhm.
when the
Oh,
Olympics is
they knew
on.
how to get to
Uh,
it before I did.
yeah,
I came in a
when
vehicle. Yeah, they
right
knew
when the
it.
Olympics is on, they're gonna find the
It's
basketball game during the Olympics and
it's
all
just
that. But you
it
notice when the World Cup for golf is on, only old men find those. Young kids don't.
no, but you know what? I think
Businessmen, right?
it's definitely a country pride thing. I was on the app Clubhouse, and
Mexico,
what people are doing is right by their name, they're adding
the
their
flag.
flag right
Yep.
Coach,
by their
Coach, the
profile.
Chicago game was on earlier. The
Yeah,
Chicago World Cup game was on earlier. You
nice.
said it. It was Mexico versus Poland. And I was just like, as a
Right.
Chicagoan, I don't know what to do. Who do I root
Oh,
for?
Right.
That's
Right.
that's half the city.
Hey, you just take a drive down Division Street. That's
That's
all.
half the city, right?
oh,
Mexico,
So,
and
Poland, that's Chicago. Goodness.
Kevin was wondering if we were going to talk about the World Cup. So, what
Oh,
is your
absolutely.
predictions, Coach,
well,
about the World Cup?
I'm gonna give
What do you
you
think?
for promotional purposes only.
Here we
Uh,
go. Here we go.
I think that for the first time, I think the U.S. will, in a long time, sneak into the championship game, which we need to come
Absolutely.
back. And the reason why, because I can't wait till the women play, because they're definitely going to do their thing. The women is always dominant, but I
US
think
women
that
dominant. Yes.
yeah, and I think because the men have seen the thing that happened over the last couple of years with the lawsuit and everything else, the pressure is there. And I think that like you said, Mike, we finally got some young brothers and some good athletes on that men's soccer team that we can finally compete. Because the U.S. in previous years, the men's soccer team was a joke. And I think
Well,
now,
they didn't even make it eight. They didn't make it the 8 years ago. They weren't even
correct.
there.
Yep. So I think now we've kind of put the money behind it. We got so many people have moved to the country. We can put them in. I think it's great. So I think you're
U.S.
gonna see
coach is based
U.S.
out of Chicago. Shout out to
Exactly,
Shy.
exactly,
U.S. coach of the national men's
exactly.
team is based in Chicago.
Right,
It
and
is.
because
I
that,
didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
yep, and I think they
Wow.
will possibly end up playing either Mexico or um uh that's a horrible one. I think Mexico will make it on the other side.
You think who's gonna play
All right.
Mexico?
Well,
I think the U.S. versus Mexico will be the World Cup,
Oh,
Mike.
oh! Are you praying for insanity? The insanity of the U.S. playing Mexico in the
here we
World Cup?
go.
That will be
Oh my gosh.
crazy. I'm so glad I'm
That
not in Texas anymore because that state would be divided.
Oh my gosh. Well, Coach, thank you so very much for the breakdown. And I will definitely be checking out the World Cup between England and the USA
Friday,
on Friday,
Friday.
November 25th,
Yep.
after we've eaten all the turkey and gobbled. And hey, any final words, Coach?
final word. I just got to say one last thing to wrap up real quick, and I'm gonna drop those, and that is this last weekend, Mike. If you had your TV locked on from last Thursday or Friday to last night, and the preseason for college basketball, either you got to be a fan or you got to be crazy because the Final Four was just played, Mike. I'm not joking. You had Gonzaga, Michigan State, you had Kentucky, Duke,
Yeah,
Carolina, all in
yeah,
one weekend. Oh
yeah.
my God!
No,
And,
that's amazing.
I'm gonna give you somebody this year for promotional purposes only. If you're gonna put some promotional dollars down on anything, watch them boys from Houston.
All
Yeah.
right, Coach.
But
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness.
I love y'all and keep it coming. Again, I'm gonna keep pushing my NIL stuff for you guys, so we can make sure we good to go. But you know my word.
Ray,
Hey, there you go, there you go,
Ray,
there you go, right there, right.
ah, Ray. Yes.
Appreciate that. Hey,
Woo.
US versus Mex. He would love that
Oh
on the
my
hey, get
boat.
on the boat, get on the boat, right? Get on the boat. Hey,
Woo.
I'm already rolling in. Hey, Mike, you know I'm in the Gulf. I'm in the Gulf. I'm rolling in the Gulf right now,
Rolling
man.
girl.
Hey, you think I'm gonna bump into like the wall or something? Can I get over the wall?
Here we go. All right, Coach.
Hey, I love y'all, but you know my words, and I'm out.
He's out. Thank you so much, Coach Tony. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I'm yeah, that's something to look forward to. I love that the World Cup brings together so many people. I'm glad that people are like they're repping their country, they're repping their
Yeah,
hood, their country.
the country, they heard that country. All
Their
right.
hood, their country, and it's like, and what did Kevin said? I got France repeating.
I mean that's a good play. I mean, I don't know
Mhm.
if you, I don't know if I don't think you could make any money off of that, or promotional purposes only, right? I
For
don't think there's
commercial.
there's many because they are the odds-on favorite. I mean, I think they are, especially now with Messi losing that game, and just it's hard to repeat. But mm, I mean, some of these divisions are so tough. They're so tough. The U.S. coming out, the U.S. comes out, that would be amazing. That would be
Mhm.
really, they're in a really tight division. So, all right, cool. Yeah, definitely. Yes, we would love to see the U.S. play Mexico.
I would,
Yeah.
we would, yeah, and Ray already said that would be something. So I'm
Oh,
totally cracking up
insanity.
about that.
I was just thinking, like, I was safely tucked away in the suburbs, but Mexico, Poland today, I was just like, that's Chicago. That's the whole city. The whole city is watching this game. My goodness.
Well, you know what? I'm making sure that I say this
Cicero's
because
watching this game.
I am going ahead and allowing it'll be hashtag Wamble Wednesday will return next week on November 30th, which means that is the end of the month. November 30th is the end of November. Nuts.
You're amazed that the month is ending or the year is
I'm
ending.
amazed because I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, what is happening?" Like the year is going by a little bit too quick, and I'm freaking out just a little bit. Oh gosh, let me look at the chat. Some people are saying stuff in the chat. Oh my goodness, let me see what's happening over here. I
Let's
can't
think
even.
about it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
and oh,
yeah.
Kevin saying that the World Cup. Why is it not coming up? The World Cup
Be
in
in North America.
2026.
North America.
That would
Yeah.
be nice. That would be nice if it
Well,
if
I
it could
mean, a
happen.
bazillion years ago. I don't know if you remember when they were playing games here in the U.S. I remember. I think I was still kind of had a connection with North Central. Oh boy, I remember my friends at North Central from Lithuania, and just how lit they got every time Lithuania played.
Oh my gosh.
Wow! And they had a special. I remember it. They had a special Grateful Dead uniform on because one of the dead had promoted Lithuania, so they had tie-dye uniforms. Oh my goodness, that was just insane. All of it was insane.
So I'm gonna do a hard transition here.
Yes, do it
On tomorrow, I will be
tomorrow.
releasing a podcast, and I just wanted to call this out, and I'll probably post this tomorrow that
Mm-hmm.
November, before we leave November. What? Okay, there we go. November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and
Okay.
we're going to speak with one of my close friends, Carla Braithwaite. And I'm probably butchering her last name. I gotta pronounce
Oh
it better,
no.
but she she gives us a little education. Do you know, Michael, she is walking every day to raise money for
Wow.
epilepsy,
Okay.
and she is recording it on her Instagram and posting it on
Nice.
Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
So I talk with her. She talks about some of the things that she's grateful for, but just to highlight Epilepsy Awareness Month, and unfortunately, how I used to unfortunately suffer with it as well. So I just wanted to
Wow.
put that out
Okay.
there,
Okay.
guys. That is what's happening for our audio podcast. But we really want to let everyone know and wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Carla, that Carla. You're right, Kevin. She's gonna beat me up for butchering her last name after
That's how well you know her. You don't call her by her last name, only her
Just
first
call her
name.
Carla. Just call her Carla.
That's right. That's the familiarity, the love, like family.
So, guys, we have the Interludes is presenting Find Your Voice, a podcasting course for beginners. It's launching. It's coming. And I'm excited about it.
Yes. Find your voice. Like Val find her voice, because it's the voice. Yeah.
Interludes is celebrating 100 episodes. I think we might be up to 125. I don't know where we are. And currently we're on the YouTube channel. As you watch, some of us are watching, some people are watching. We're on our Interludes Facebook group. Interludes is also
we on whatever you watching this on. That's right.
Interludes is also on LinkedIn under Pure Lighthouse Media. And thank you so much to Mark Lee.
On your phone. If it's on your phone, we on your phone.
It's on your phone. It's
whatever we on, that's what we on, right? And you know what we always on? We're always on time.
Right. So we'll be back next week with it, and go ahead and visit our website for the course information, as well as if you would like to become a future sponsor. Thank you so much, Kevin. Much love to you in Brooklyn, and to your wife. I thank you so much for all of your help. Michael, what's your
Nets? Rest in peace,
Michael,
Brooklyn Nets.
I know, Michael. Michael, what's your name? Michael, what's your name?
My name is not Val the Voice Johnson, but your name is, and this has been Interludes Extra. Talk on Tuesday with Val the Voice Johnson. Happy Thanksgiving.
Be grateful. Hug your loved ones. Peace.